Jestice here, and I am with the incredible, amazingly talented Janette Ghedotte, who is a truth and deception detection expert. Her company, Accurate Body Language, she helps people find the truth, detect the lies, is here to share her story with all of us. So, Janette, thank you for being here.
Thank you. Aaron, what do I always say? I bust liars. I bust liars, and I get everybody to the truth.
Janette, I've always been curious, too. I want to know, just tell me a little bit about your background, growing up, and just kind of what led you to where you are now.
Thank you. I was born in Vietnam. When I came over in 1964, I was 3 years old, and my mom met my American dad in Vietnam when I was 2. I don't know my biological father, but he knocked her up, and she said that he had a son. My American family got myself, my mother, and my sibling to come over from Vietnam in 1964 when we were all at war to Minneapolis. She got her girlfriends to write love notes to my American dad saying, "You have a son. His name is Kenny. Oh, it's going to be so wonderful. We're going to get married." We arrived in Minneapolis, but when Aunt Ginger started changing the baby's diaper, she realized, Kenny ain't Kenny. Kenny is missing a little bit of something. So the whole premise of my coming over to America, Aaron, was based on a lie. A big whopping lie. Oh my God. It's incredible. How did she think she was going to get away with this? This is what I'm wondering. You know, maybe she thought dads don't change diapers, so it'd be okay for a few years. If you think about the culture of it, it makes sense. So in body language, and when you're understanding somebody else's motivations and actions, you really have to understand the culture. In Vietnam and in other Asian cultures, boys are revered. Boys are so revered that in some cultures, they don't even want girls. In my mother's mindset, she thought, we have to come to America. We have to come to America. This baby is a girl. If I told him that the baby is a girl, he may break up with me. And she couldn't risk that. She would rather risk the consequences of a lie than the consequences of a potential breakup and be a mother of 2 illegitimate children in Vietnam. With that, you can understand kind of her rationale for a lie. So when you, Aaron, or the audience is looking at the situation, you want to look at the motivation of the individual, because we are driven by our motivations. And when you know more about the motivations, then any lies or deceptions make sense when you listen to it from that person's point of view. She didn't realize in America, we're kind of okay with either gender.
Right.
We won't be upset one way or another in general. So my dad was okay with finding out that Kenny wasn't Kenny. Kenny was Diana. But my grandfather, and rightfully so, he said, hey, if she lied about this, what else is she lying about? And that was a whopping lie. Other thing that I want the audience to know is when the stakes are high, go like this, Aaron. The stakes are really high, or the stakes are really high. When there's so much at stake, liars will lie because they either want the reward or they don't want to be found. So the motivation to lie is greater. Remember the game 2 Truths and a Lie? The 2 Truths and a Lie fun game that you might play at a party is inconsequential. If you told 2 truths and 1 lie, it might be harder for me to detect the lie because it's just a game. But in her case, 3 lives were at stake. Myself, my mother, and the baby. Since I was only 3 years old, I didn't understand English. I knew a 3-year-old's Vietnamese vocabulary, so I didn't understand you, Aaron. I didn't understand y'all and how y'all talk. So, because I didn't understand English yet, go like this. Body language. Body language. And so I had to really pay attention to all you Americans, what you were communicating. And if you think about it, words may say one thing, but the body always tells the truth. Thank goodness I came over when I was 3 years old, because 2 to 5-year-olds can really absorb more than one language. Instead of, let's say I came over when I was 13, I would have a Vietnamese accent. But once I found out that my mother had lied about coming over here, that didn't sit well with me. We always want to know the truth and have people tell us the truth. So I think I resented her for that, even though she was my ticket, my sister Diana was my ticket to come over based on that lie. If you think about the word believe, B-E-L-I-E-V-E, the lie is embedded in the word believe.
Wow.
Body language helps you get to the lie and sort out the truth from the lie so that you can believe the part that you should believe and spot the lie that you would have not seen because it's embedded in believe. And when a couple is in love, you don't think of any of the character flaws of that other person. Thank God my American father didn't get too upset and I was raised in America.
The consequences of lies versus the consequences of truth. And I think weighing those things, and obviously the truth is always going to be the better angle to take, right? Because there's still consequences of lies. Time you don't trust your mom at that point.
No,
right?
I resented my mother when I was young and a teenager. But if you think about it, Diana was my ticket here. If there was no Diana, they could have broken up and she could have stayed where she was and he could have come back to America where his family is. And so Diana was my ticket to America. And it took me a long time to kind of forgive her. And how I was able to pivot, because I resented her, is when I made my own lies and I caused my own pain with my life. And that was in my first marriage, and I wasn't very honest during sections of my marriage, and I caused a lot of pain for my first husband. And I became somebody that I didn't even recognize anymore. And so I thought, oh my God, here I was holding a grudge to my mother, and then I realized myself that I'm a liar. And so it took me 2 years of therapy. Yes, get therapy, because it'll shrink your head and make you better. The 2 years in therapy, and I'm a psychologist, so psychologists really need to do, mental health people really need to do their own therapy to make sure their North Star is calibrated right. The 2 years that I spent in therapy helped me, as you were saying in your story, go from the devastation direction I was going into a wake-up call and say, oh my God, I cannot live this kind of life. If I want to be a better person, I need to go towards truth. And so I think from the pain of the divorce and the insights that I was able to get better self-esteem from 2 years of individual therapy, I transitioned from an ordinary liar to now a truth seeker. And that's how Erin Jestice knows me now. I'm a badass body language babe. Seeking the truth. I bust liars, okay? So that's my backstory. What do you think?
I love it. That's super interesting. You just ooze confidence now, and I like part of but being a truthful person, because you're able to be confident, admit the things that you could have done better, that you've done wrong, or that you can still work on today, and also be confident in knowing who you are and knowing that you're being authentic, and I think that's really powerful. Can you still speak Vietnamese?
No! Oh my gosh. When I was 3, my American relatives said, don't keep teaching the children Vietnamese. They're in America now, so speak English. But you become smarter when you know more languages, because the brain has to process both languages. And so I regret that my mom didn't keep up with the Vietnamese language and culture. But I want to tell the whole audience, and Erin has heard this before, that each one of us is multilingual, because what's our first language?
Body language.
Body language. We were body language experts when we were babies. In the womb, we were taking in the nutrients of our mother. We were hearing her muffled sounds. We were consuming anything that she consumed. Babies who had salty diets from their mother preferred salty foods or sweets, or some moms, drugs and alcohol. So the babies became addicted. So the babies could sense which was the correct mother within hours of being born from the way she sounded, smelled, and tasted. This is a little baby that's just a few hours old. We all started as body language experts, and then we grew up and became amateurs. Body language amateurs, but not me. I regained my fluency, and my passion and purpose in life is to help others get to the truth and reclaim your natural born fluency in body language. You had it before. you can get it back again. Understanding and detecting and decoding body language is my superpower. I have Wonder Woman. That is my superpower. Aaron, that is your superpower. So when we get trained again to become fluent again in body language, it is such a superpower. You can cut through the bullshit and go right to, and within a few seconds of any of my analysis that I presented at Happy Neighborhood Project, what were you thinking?
You start to see it, and you start to see other people do
Yes.
it in certain scenarios. And again, you talk about this all the time. You got to cluster things, different context clues and everything together. But it gets you at least thinking in that mindset of, okay, I wonder, what is actually being said here.
Right.
It made a ton of sense to me, and for me personally, it makes me feel more secure as far as my ability to read people or kind of understand the context, what's going on, when I actually know why people do certain things and like the science behind it. So it's been amazing learning from you in that regard.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
There's things I'm like, wow, how did I not notice this before?
You probably sensed a little bit.
Sure.
Without the training and really understanding, you absorbed it through your senses, but then it passed. What body language is all about is really focusing in on the moment, looking at everything, and then putting all the clusters together. It's almost like being a truth detective, because one little body language gesture is just one gesture. You've got to cluster the clues and get the intel to get clarity on the puzzle. Remember when we did puzzles when we were kids? If we took a handful of puzzle pieces and we started putting them together, we might be able to see, oh, okay, this is a cat and this is a dog, but it takes the entire thing and clusters before you realize it's a farm scenery.
One part of the picture, but not the whole scenario.
Exactly.
People put stuff in front of them to separate themselves from the person in front of them, and sometimes it's subconscious, so it's not, whether it be me, maybe put my hands in front, and then maybe I put a water bottle in between us or something. And then, just kind of different things. And then also, when things don't align, right? Like someone's saying yes, but like their head's kind of tilted this way a little bit, or like, kind of different things like that. Or they cross their arms not being open.
Yeah.
Like those kind of things I can notice, like in an instant now when I see people because of your breakdowns on it.
And you do not want to close on your sales pitch if they're doing this, or they're picking at themselves, or they're doing this. Okay, watch. If they're distancing from you, or a turtle tuck, if they go like this, do not do your close. You want to do your close when they're leaning in and laughing and smiling and tilting their head and nodding. And you can get them to nod by you nodding, and then they'll start nodding. Getting to the truth of the matter, whether it's in your personal life or your business, is vitally important. So many people waste years of their lives and hundreds, if not millions of dollars going in the wrong path of deception. They have ruined their lives because of deception. So whenever I see deception throughout our day, I'm thinking, oh my God, why can they not see that? Because I have my superpower, right? I can see it. It's so obvious. You see it once you hear the analysis. It's right there. So my purpose in all of this is I want to empower people to spot the lies, get to the truth, avoid costly mistakes. I am badass about it. I am serious, dead serious about that, which means you minimize your risks and maximize your wins in life. You won't know the entire truth because nobody knows the entire truth, but it minimizes your risks and maximizes your wins in life. That is my passion. It's always about serving others. And when more people know how to get to the truth, Aaron, it'll be a better world, because so many lives will be better when they don't go down the deception route. That's what drives me. I'm badass about it.
Yes, you are. And, hopefully as people get, better and better detecting lies, the average person gets detecting these lies, the more that these kind of people realize that, like, hey, like, I can't get the same impact with lies anymore. Maybe these liars will not that they won't stop completely, but over time, they're like, this is not working anymore.
You make a good point. There'll be fewer easy targets. Make sure you get into my class, my Detect and Decode Body Language class, because it will be the best investment of your life. You can continue on having blinders, like the horses have blinders, but once you know and understand body language and detecting deception and statement analysis, the blinders go wide so you see more of what's going on right then, right now. Do you want to know the lies in the moment with accurate body language, or do you want to miss the lies and maybe never find out about the lies? I help people focus in the here and now so you can catch them right then and there. Contact Janette Ghedotte of Accurate Body Language for training and consultation so you can spot the lies, get to the truth, and avoid costly mistakes. From head to toes, the body always shows the truth.